YouTube. How in the world are you today? Well, here in Kansas, I gotta tell you, it's hot. I think yesterday was 97, today's supposed to be 94, but it feels like 100 and something out there. I gotta tell you. Well, today we got something that's just a little bit different. We got a product review. So let me tell you the story just a little bit about it. I had got an email from a nice lady named Avery. And so Avery was saying, hey, we've been watching your channel, been following you real close, and we have a product that we think might be up your alley. And I thought, oh, okay, let me see, let me read on some more, let me see what they have. And so they have a digital microscope. And so as I read on the email, it was saying, hey, you can look at some of the different products underneath this microscope and be able to see a lot better. In my head, I'm interpreting it as, hey, old man, you can't see, and we've noticed that. Now, have you noticed in my videos, by the way, you know, I say, I think it says this, I think it says that, is what was going through my mind. And I'm thinking, are you calling me an old man? Are you saying I can't see? Well, I got to tell you, isn't that just the way it is? We get older, we just don't work as good as we used to. And so when I was reading on this email and I was thinking a digital otoscope, man, that could be awesome. I really like that idea if it blows it up, because that's my problem, right? Is that I can't quite see what it is. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this a whirl. I think this might be just the ticket I'm looking for. And I know you guys are out there restoring some tools, and I can't be the only one as I'm getting older and wearing glasses that can't see as good as I used to. And so I thought, you know what? Let's just play. Let's just see. I told her, I said, hey, send it on over. Let me take a look. We'll make a video about it. And let's see, because what is interesting is that they use it for electronics. And then I've noticed that some coin collectors are getting into it. But I thought, how about tools? What about our community? We love technology as well, don't we? And so I want to unbox it with you. We're going to put it together, and then we're going to put it to the test. Are you ready? All right, let's go see about this digital otoscope that Avery sent over, and then we'll give you some more info towards the end about the company and how you can access it and go from there. All right, and incidentally, I'm not making a dime on this video at all. This is just a product review. They sent it over for nothing. And so, but other than that, I make zero commissions in nothing like that. I'm just here just to have fun with you. All right, here we go. Let's get the camera turned around and let's check it out. Okay, we are underneath the camera now. Let's see what we can find out. So as you can see, it's a digital microscope. And so as I was researching this, I was noticing that they use this a lot for electronic repair. But then I've noticed some other people starting to look at it in a different light. And that's why I thought this might be kind of interesting for us. First appearance, just looking at the box, very pro. And so everything's nice and neat and such like that. So it does say it's made in China, incidentally, but most electronics are these days, it seems like. But it also has so a couple other neat features. It also, not only is it a digital microscope, but it also displays in 4K, and you can record, if I'm thinking about it correctly, at 30 frames per second. And so how interesting is that? Now, some of you YouTubers out there, and I know there's lots of you guys that are doing tool restorations and looking at trying to understand what's underneath that rust, right? So this could be another angle, at least that's kind of what I'm thinking about it as, another angle to see, you know, we're shooting the video live like this, but this could be another recording device. But let's see if that's going to be true. All right, let's go ahead and open it up and let's see what we have here. So hopefully I can get this without bumping everything here. So as I go through, I'm going to turn it sideways. And so we got a manual right out the gate here. And it says 4K 30 frames per second digital microscope 208S. And this is the user's manual. And so we're going to go through and start diving in, and let's see what we can learn. Hopefully there's a way for us to be able to put this together here. So what's in the box it has, and then the installation. And so we're probably going to need this. And so this is everything that's included in that box, by the way. So as you can see, We got the monitor for the microscope, and then we got the metal base, which is number 2. Number 3, it looks like we have the column. 5 is a power adapter. 6, incidentally, on here is the slides for the bottom light. And then 7 is prepared microscope slides. And 8 is cleaning tools. 9 is a card reader. 10 is a power cable. 11 HDMI cable. 12 USB date cable. And 13 is remote control. And then finally 14 is the user's manual. All right, so here we are. We have the installation here. So let's go through. We're going to take this number 4, which is going to be our column, and then we're going to slide it into our base here. And so let's kind of start opening up and let's see what else we have. So notice on here we got this cardboard. It has this cutout inside this styrofoam here. So that's cool. Kind of keeps this monitor nice and protected. Love that. So that's wrapped up in some plastic. So we'll throw that off to the side. And this is what it looks like so far here. And so, hey, by the way, you can see my recording device, how I have it set up. All right, and so this is what we have. So we look at the back side, and so we can see, oh, one of the things I didn't tell you that this thing has a light on it as well, I believe. And so that's cool, right? And so we're going to see how this is going to go here. So I'm going to set this off to the side for just a moment. Let's unbox everything out of here. That way we have room to work. So we're going to get all our goodies and just start setting them up here. And then we're going to get prepared. So that was the microphone, some other pieces, some clips. The plug-in is here as well. And so, all right. Let's see here. So we got US or HDMI cable, it looks like. And then we also have another cable that's here. And then I think the base is underneath that. So let's look and see what we have as far as this goes. All right, so we got the base that's here. We got another cable. And then I think just one more piece, yeah. And so this is probably going to be the column. So let's unwrap that. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go ahead and get this out of the way real quick. And then that way we have some room to work with. All right, throw that off to the side. Kind of put some pieces over here. Let me unwrap this part. And let's see what we have here. All right. So we're going to go through and scoot that here just like that. Get my cables out of the way because we won't need those right away. What did it say the very first part to do was to slide our column on into our base, right? Yeah, it actually is threaded. So we're going to thread that into it. All right, so we're going to get it about right there. We're going to turn this nut so that way it is about straight over and then tighten it up. Okay, so there's step 1. It's saying that I need to take the monitor now and to be able to put it on this top part. I'm assuming it slides right on into this part right here. So let me take these retention screws and back them out just a little bit. And then we're going to put our monitor on and let's see how we go. And incidentally, on this monitor, it had this little ring, and it looks like it does have a little flare at the end. So I'm assuming that's probably what's going to sit inside there really well. So let's see if I'm right or not. Yep, I think so. We're going to tighten these up just a little bit, and I don't think they need to be crazy tight at all. We just need to have it where it is snug so it's not moving around. All right, so there's 2, and so we're going to install these metal clips that they gave us. That's the next step I think it's asking for us to do. This is the remote control. All right, so you can see that there's several pieces inside here. So we do have the 2 clips there. We have a couple springs, a couple screws, 2 different lengths and sizes, and then a little Allen wrench that way. So as we're going through and flipping this over just a little bit for us, let's see what we have. So we're going to push this down. Let me see if I can lower that camera down again so you can see it a little bit better here. And let's see what we can accomplish. Okay, so I got one of these set up here in regards to the clip. So it takes these long screws that we have here, and it also takes the spring, and then the clip goes that way, I'm assuming. And so let's see what this looks like here. So I'm going to push this right over here, and I'm assuming this goes there. So I'm going to take my screwdriver and see if I can screw that in. And I'm assuming this is just because if you have something that you're trying to hold in place, this is what's going to hold it in place that way. Still got a little bit of spring action going on there, so that part is good. All right, so let's do the same thing here. I'm going to get my long screw. I'm going to put it through the hole, put the spring in it, and then we're going to come over here and do the same thing on this side here. Okay, so we got those in place, I think, and so that's good. All right, the next part of the instructions is to go through and let's see here. We're going to hook up some cabling. So let me get that going first, just so I can see where we need to hook it up, and then I'll be right back here. Okay, we are back. All right, so I got it together. Now here's a couple things I'll show you. One, I got all the wires hooked up. It's just 3 wires. One that goes into the base here, and then one that goes into the monitor, and the other one is a power. So when we click the bottom one here, that's going to automatically turn on the lights and turn on the welcome screen, and it's about that simple right there. And so a couple other things, I'll lower the camera down just a little bit so you can see here. Now this portion right here, this is your adjustment screw. So you can turn it back and forth, and then you can zoom in or zoom out, or just find that adjustment there. And so let me give you an idea. Whenever I go through and turn it, you can see it's autofocus now, but I can easily get in focus as I get going and looking at it. And I can get real granular with it. I mean, that's a pretty fine picture on this screen here. Love that. And so I think that's pretty killer. Now, another thing I discovered is that down here, if we get closer to it just a little bit and lower my screen, just my camera just a little bit, these clips, if you're working on some kind of board and you need something to hold it still, that's where it could be useful. You don't have to use those by any means whatsoever. Probably myself, I don't need it. I'll probably leave them on there just for the sake of it. But you can also mount it onto this portion here, right on top. Now this is if you have some samples, like for instance, these are a 5-piece set of little glass pieces that if you're trying to look at something underneath there, you can actually plug in the light instead of here into here. It'll magnify light up and you can look at something pretty fine. Obviously that's probably not something I'm going to use, but on the electronic world or other worlds, I can easily see that. Now the question becomes, okay, how good does it work, right? Well, the other thing I wanted to point out on this remote control, if I hit camera on here, it'll start to capture, it'll start to record it up on the screen here. And so how awesome is that, right? And so that's pretty killer good that we would have something of that sort. In fact, we're going to take a look at a piece. I'm going to go through and show you. This is how I normally would do it, right? Is kind of come in here and say, hey, check this out. And then we would go through, and normally it focuses for me, and we can start to read it. But this is where my trouble comes in, right? So now I can hold it up close and I can click that. But once I click my screen, then it's only focused on that area there. But I can get pretty detailed with it. But I'm only looking at my little phone screen. I want to stop this. I'm going to adjust my camera, and I want to show you what it looks like on the monitor now. Okay, so now I got my camera pointed up at the monitor screen, and now let's look at that same procedure this way when I put it up underneath there. So now I'm going to adjust the focus, and we're going to focus in on this part, but look how nice and crisp I can get that right there. Look at that. And so I can really read what's going on there. So it's a plum. In fact, I found this at my neighbor. In fact, I have a video that's going to be coming up about my neighbor Steve and how some awesome goodies that we found in his. But nevertheless, I thought I could see that it said plum, but now I clearly see that this screwdriver says plum. Look how beautiful that's showing up on the camera there, right? On that screen. Now, here's what's really cool is that if I hit this button and hit record, there we go. You see the numbers at the top? And so now that's recording this little clip here. And so I can really kind of zoom in and add another element to my videos, right? So that was one. Let's try it on a little different piece here. This is another piece I picked up from my neighbor Steve. So it's an old Stanley. And so really excited about cleaning this bad boy up. It's a number 6. And I think 357 Magdad calls this a pokey thing. And so I love that. And so I don't really collect pokey things, but I mean, this is pretty cool. I seen that and I thought, man, I want to pick that up just because I think that's neat. And so there was one, a couple other pieces that he had. We might be able to take a look at just to get a variety there. So this is no Yankee, number 230. I can easily see that on the screen now, right? And so how beautiful is that now? So it just adds another element to that, right? And so that handle, if you're needing to inspect that handle for some cracks in the wood, something like that. All right, but this is a Ward's Mastercraft, and this thing came in the original box, and this thing is just gorgeous. So anyways, that's what the video does, right? And so I wanted to show you one other practical application on a socket that I cleaned up. I didn't even realize that it was cracked. But let me grab that real quick because I want to show you how you can save yourself some work by inspecting your pieces. So if I come back over here, now this was an old socket here. And so let's look at it. It was a Challenger socket, a little 3/8 inch, and man, it cleaned up nice, didn't it? So when we're looking at it in the camera that way, but as I came through and I thought, oh no, check that out. In fact, I knew it had one crack in it once I cleaned it up, but now look at that. I didn't realize it had 2 cracks in it. And so, but now with this camera, this digital microscope, I can easily get down to the details of it all that way. And so, my goodness, it makes all the difference in the world. This is a game changer for me anyways. I don't know if anybody else would find this useful, but I love this. Beautiful. This is a work of art of creating this for my videos. So I love that. All right, let me pause it. Okay, and we are back. Wow, can you believe that? Check that out. And that's a Joyalens 208S digital microscope. I gotta tell you, I know this is my first time using it, but my goodness, the setup was super easy, super simple. It was a blast to use. And I can easily see how it's gonna take my garage videos to a whole nother level. I can easily see when I bring home these old tools and I can't quite read what it says, putting it underneath there and really magnifying it. Wow, that is killer. I love that. So right now my process is that whenever I need to read something, I walk over to the magnifying glass and I'm trying to sit there and focus it in, and then you know how it has that little dot for super magnification? I'm holding it underneath there and I just can't quite get it right sometimes. It helps, that's what I use. But now that I have this, Avery hooked me up. I gotta tell you, thank you so much, Avery, for doing that. Man, you are just awesome. You just took my garage to a whole nother level. Now, you know, I'm talking like I'm getting paid for this. I make $0. I don't make anything on it. And I gotta tell you, This thing is just a dream. They sent it over to me for a product review, and I told them I was going to be honest with them. I'll look at it and see. But as soon as I read that email, I thought, wow, yeah, I can see that. I have a need for something like that. And now that I've tried it out, I can see that. Now, remember, you can take a picture with it. That's helpful, right? Especially if you're a mechanic and you're trying to look for a defect. Take a picture and you can send it off to the manufacturer and say, hey, check this out. There's a hairline crack in it that maybe is not visible to the naked eye. That could be a scenario. Or like I said, for myself, you're looking at old tools. You know what's kind of crazy is my little magnifying glass. If I get a splinter, I use that and kind of come in there and pick it up. I want to be using this now. My goodness, I think this thing is awesome. So it takes pictures. You can record video with it at 30 frames a second. So that's cool. It's 4K. That's cool, right? Easy to set up. Friends, I'm a fan. I love it. But anyways, that's just me. If you're looking at it, do your own research and get in there and watch some other videos, see what you can find. There's not a whole lot on out there. So I was just ecstatic that Avery wrote me that email. Like I said, the first time I was starting to read it, I thought, are you calling me old? Just because I'm getting all of this stuff. But man, I got to tell you, if this is what getting old is like, getting into the high-tech world, count me in. All right, there you go, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share and like this video. Tell your friends about it. Make sure if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Tell your friends. This is the kind of stuff we do. We check this tool. We check out tools. We do product reviews. We do restorations. We do tool hauls. We do all kinds of fun stuff around here. But until next time, we'll see you on the next one.